In 40 years, what will people be nostalgic about?
Old Track says the good old days when you had to charge your phone every day. Yossi25 says the anonymity of the internet, it's already ending. My friend got sued for a Yelp review. Mossbone says our early versions of VR. Just imagine how insane it will be in 40 years.
Orange and Black says we're already nostalgic for the Wild West of the internet era, but that's only going to be tenfold in 40 years when we lose any control of the internet.
Helicopter Balzac says as the mechanical arm drew the last fizz out of his anus, Jerry could only look fondly upon the days of using your own butt muscles to shit. Lee Younga says keyboards.
Smonkey Boy says the Infinity Saga part of the MCU.
Fuck you by my brain says animals.
Firgus74 says privacy.
CHEL8 says physical human interaction. Lama says internet freedom to me. It looks like the internet will be sectioned off and sold separately. Use YouTube with this provider, Reddit with another, etc. And become increasingly censored. Article 13 and 11 net neutrality. So I think people will be nostalgic about the freedom and variety of the internet as it is today.
Council MVINICIUS says entry-level jobs, everything's gonna be automated and all the bullshit entry jobs will go away. There will be like 5 cashier positions left in the world that 20 million college grads will compete over. You'll need 10 years of experience, 7 letters of rec, and a master's degree to work part-time at the Sunglass Hut in Bloomington, Ohio on the corner of 54th and 2nd.
MR Melonface says like half of all known animals.
Les Morelsmrum says the past.
Loop says cheap clean drinking water, fresh air and nature.
Keekanat Howland Grass says abundance of food. The existence of beachside towns and boardwalks, all the tourist shit, affordable housing. But most especially giraffes.
Emerited 6,969,420 says Minecraft.
Luca Donna says Reddit maybe?
Uncle G.I. Joe says bees.
Latitude says vanilla sex. Remember when you could just do missionary? Now you have to explore a kink, dress up and role play. It's like staging a Marquis de Sade production.
Wenceslao says Earth.
Weekok 123 says the environment. Photon Video says being able to drive yourself. A car with a steering wheel will be a rich man's toy.
Rhineb says at the rate the US is going, democracy.
Noimad 666 says icebags.
Wilson's Human says talking to each other in person.
Bo Benny says winter.
Always Sunny Drag Race says music. Oh man, remember when reggaeton was taking all over the world, and how we hated it? Yeah man, good old Despacito days. Trap was good too, and dubstep. Now music nowadays, I wish we could go back to artists like Justin Bieber and Chris Brown. Those were real artists. Today's music sucks and kids won't believe us.
Phil Michaels says I miss looking forward to the next Christopher Nolan movie.
Dumalgi says democracy. It's an exception to the rules of human history, and technology will make it impossible to maintain soon.
Clap Some Cheeks says RuneScape.
Esperanti says cars powered by petrol or diesel, or manual transmissions. Back in my day we had cars with gears, and we had to change them ourselves.
A trip around the globe says One Piece.
Ankifa says probably playing Minecraft with your friends on Xbox Live. I miss those days.
BYONT6 says freedom, slightly frowning face.
The Schmoozer says the free times before the Republic of the USA reorganized itself into the American Empire and began a series of wars against its own citizens.
4 Horseway says cash money.
Suma Sethro says remember when there were people working at grocery stores and restaurants? Are the good ole days. Or remember when you could just have kids, you didn't even need a license for it. Badad Viscal says breathable air and other environmental treats that we take for granted.
Waddle Dynasty says, Reddit 4chan YouTube the 8th gen games and platforms.
Jayakri says still Minecraft.
Zarpanana says trees.
Deep So Yufunk says hating millennials.
Chuffed Canadian says humans driving big rigs to transport goods. The AI just isn't as fun to talk to on the CB.
User 867530999 says freedom from our AI overlords.
Diplodocus 114 says actually physically leaving the house to work, shop and socialize.
Rex 501st Republic says Lego Star Wars the Saga. Don't be like that says seeing a beautiful blue sky.
It's Etika says it. Things I already fucking miss. Jet off my lawn.
CMDR Fidget says eating something other than cricket and yeast nutrient paste. Insultatron says democracy, freedom of speech, women's rights.
Treasure the semicolon says a non-dead Earth. The oceans have more plastic than fish in them and they are acidifying rapidly. We're going through a mass extinction event where something like 1/5 of all species on Earth will become extinct in the next 20 years. The planet is heating up and there will be utter chaos, politically because of food shortages and a lack of potable water, and weather-wise because of insane droughts, hurricanes and flooding in the next 20 to 30 years. Shady Alligator says Reddit.
Gemazart says Reddit.
Millennial AF says content creators that leave the internet completely, they'll continue to live their lives, but they'll leave ours as if they've gone to space like McConaughey in Interstellar or something.
B Innovation says good food and clean water.
Not Jonah 6969 says hopefully goddamn Fortnite. Redishia says Uggs.
Sparkle 1975 says relative peace and prosperity. And electricity.
Not a suicidal robot says only having to pay money for cosmetics and add-on weapons in games.
This can't be my name says balloons filled with helium for parties.
Feathers Forever says the third release of classic WoW. They'll be getting hyped for the fourth.
Jericho says headphone jacks.
Bottle Cat says the climate. Summers are gonna get hot.
Shaneman 1235 says Avengers Endgame.
Ricky RZ says desktop PCs. Carry a credit card and it can wirelessly power displays to run super realistic VR games and it has infinite wireless energy.
The Presentator says I just had a nostalgic relapse after seeing the Down the Rabbit Hole on Spoony. I think I'll be nostalgic for old episodes of the Nostalgia Critic when I'm 62. Dr. Shrimpley Pibbles says regular third-person video games. The future will be far more immersive.
Ikaki9 says the Nintendo Switch, probably. It is actually some kids' first consoles. Wii was my first console, and I get nostalgic playing it.
Psychophysite says the freedom to travel virtually anywhere in the world. We may not in the future have the option to enjoy this type of travel.
Renogos says the 2020s.
Dualma TNGST Rata G says Earth. Crown of Roses says the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Club Penguin Cloud says winter.
Raider Warao says not Minecraft because it's never gonna get old.
Olivia Bitchy says the European Union. C001B34N5 says popular songs like Old Town Road, Moonlight and so on. JIMBOTHY says Fortnite.
Hefty Job says boys and girls.
Carolina Chu says Avengers Infinity War and Endgame.
Discount Zero Stritch says Thanos.